War, throughout human history, has been a dreadful and pervasive reality, leaving in its wake a myriad of consequences that shape the course of nations, societies, and individuals. Its effects extend far beyond the battlefield, impacting economies, cultures, infrastructures, and mental health. This comprehensive exploration delves into the various facets of the consequences of war, aiming to shed light on its profound and lasting effects. One of the most immediate and profound consequences of war is the loss of human lives and the physical and psychological injuries inflicted on combatants and civilians alike. War leads to an incalculable loss of life, leaving families shattered and communities grieving. The injured often bear lifelong scars, both visible and invisible, affecting their ability to lead fulfilling lives. The mental and emotional toll of war is immense. Soldiers and civilians exposed to the horrors of war suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. The trauma of war can reverberate through generations, impacting families and communities long after the conflict has ended. War displaces millions of people, forcing them to flee their homes in search of safety. These refugees face uncertain futures, living in overcrowded camps, struggling to meet basic needs, and often enduring discrimination and xenophobia. The mass movement of people disrupts societies and strains resources in both host and home countries. War erodes social fabric, tearing apart communities and fostering distrust and hostility among previously cohesive groups. The breakdown of trust and social cohesion can perpetuate violence and inhibit post-war recovery efforts. War inflicts significant damage on infrastructure, including roads, bridges, power plants, and hospitals. Rebuilding these vital structures is a monumental task that requires substantial time, resources, and investments. The destruction impedes economic recovery and development. Wars are costly endeavors, draining a nation's financial resources. Governments often accumulate substantial debt to fund military operations, hindering economic growth for years or even decades. The burden of war debt can limit investments in critical sectors such as education, healthcare, and infrastructure. War disrupts trade routes, stifles commerce, and destabilizes markets. International sanctions and embargoes further isolate countries involved in conflicts, exacerbating economic challenges. Trade disruptions have far-reaching consequences for both local and global economies. Wars often lead to political instability, weakening governments and creating power vacuums that can be exploited by various factions. This instability can result in prolonged conflicts, government issues, and a struggle to re-establish effective political structures. The conduct and outcomes of war can damage a country's international reputation and relationships. War crimes, violations of humanitarian laws, and other atrocities tarnish a nation's standing on the global stage, affecting its ability to engage in diplomatic efforts and form alliances. The consequences of war are vast, profound, and enduring. Beyond the immediate human suffering and loss, war alters societies, economies, cultures, and politics. Understanding these consequences is crucial for fostering a peaceful world and working towards conflict resolution, reconciliation, and prevention. It is imperative that efforts be made to prevent wars, promote diplomacy, and strive for a more peaceful and harmonious coexistence among nations.